Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to our channel. Vicky Melody here once again, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. You understand? I'm feeling excited. I'm just coming back from church, and I'm just in an exciting mood. So I decided to just run a quick tutorial because it's been a while, and they love my friends here on the channel always message me on my social media on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, and we interact and ask questions and learn one on one. So they've been asking me when I'll be dropping the next vocal mixing tutorial. So today is that day. I'll be doing there's a project I just recorded, one guy like that, one boy. So I think I was feeling the mix, so I decided to share the process. You know how we do on this channel. So if you are new here, hit the like, subscribe, everything that helps the video grow, and do well to watch other videos because there's no video here that wastes your time or data. Every video on this channel is informative, trust me. So I think let's get into the mood of the song, and I'll show you what it sounds like, the raw take, the mixed take, and the master take. But for this tutorial, I'll just be showing you how I mixed it. I won't be doing the mastering unless you want me to do the mastering. You can just comment it on the comment section if you feel you want to see how I did the mastering. Once I get those engagement, I'll know, okay, you guys are interested in seeing it, then I'll have to shoot that video too. So let's head straight and see how it is. Okay, guys, so this is the project. Yeah, you already know I use two screens, so but you'll be seeing only one of the screen because the screen recorder can record the both at the same time. But anything I want to show you, I have to bring it to the recording screen. So what I have is the raw. I'll play the raw version of the song, then just like I said, the mixed and the mastered. So this is the raw version. Get them into you, don't know that.
Hello, I've been waiting for you not long. You've been online while you snobbing. For how long, man, go they wait though. Play boys on your DM. But you don't know how then they use you. Got me into you, they are come out. Nothing come out. Then I know if wait though. Make we gonna date though. Steady never let go. Make you be my baby. Chop like a Congo. I know go play lotto. Many reasons.
Alright, so that was the raw take. Then I'll play the mixed version. Get them into you, don't know that.
Then I know if you wait though. Make we gonna date though. Steady never let go. Make you be my baby. Chop like a Congo. I know go play lotto. Many reasons. Put up on my in body. I like the way you move body. Go kiss somebody. You tell me one gun body. We is automatic keep on shots. Grip on party. I'm on your body. Make it put.
Alright, so that was the mix. Then this is the mastered version. Get them into you, don't know that.
Baba, I'm your DJ. It's on your DM, but you don't know how then they use you. Got me into you, they are come out, nothing come out. Then I know if you wait though, make we gonna date though. Steady never let go, make you be my baby. Chop like a Congo.
So yeah, that was it. And then if you at any time you want me to handle any of your projects, do well to. My numbers are always on the screen. You can contact me anywhere, social media, WhatsApp, anywhere. Then we'll get down to it. You understand? So let me open the project where I did this. So we take it from there. Okay, so this is the project, and I like to color my stuff. So whenever I look at it, I know where I am. Understand? Even when I'm making beats, I like to color, give them different colors. It puts me in the vibe. So most times I use my lead vocal with blue. This is my customized color. I use blue for my lead vocal all the time. So this is my lead vocal, and these two tracks here, and I sent them to group channel 1. If you watch, they are both sent to group channel 1. This is my group channel 1, where I have 3 group tracks. This is for my lead. Then this track here, I called it a big verb, like a big reverb. I wanted any track I'll be sending there because that particular group has a big reverb sound to it. So then this yellow is my backup track, my backup, and I have only just one backup track here, so I just sent it there. I could have just, since it's just one track, I could have just added the effects here, but then I like using stereo plugins, and this is a mono track created. So if I'm to add effects here, I'm going to be using the mono plugins, but then I like using the stereo versions of every plugin. So what I do is I create a group track and send it to that group stereo track and use my stereo plugins. So if you've not seen the video of when to use mono or stereo VST plugins, I've done the video here. You could also check it out on the card or in the description after this video. So the first thing I did, as I usually do, is each of these individual tracks. I don't know if I can bring up my mixer from the other screen so you see. This is my mixer. I have my auto tune. Auto tune is very essential. I have my auto tune in each of the tracks. I have my auto tune, and this is my auto tune setting. But then I'm still going to make a video of how to use auto tune correctly, because sometimes auto tune can be tricky. You understand? Because there's something else I discovered recently. Because some sounds are detuned, so sometimes you have to mess around with your detune. I'm going to be making the video. Also comment on the comment section if you want to see such videos, so I'll know the amount of people who want to see that. So in this particular voice, the key is key F, and the guy is singing a little bit on a higher pitch, so I didn't want to use a high return speed. Understand? Most times you just blend your return speed to test and humanize, but I'll be making a different video for auto tune. So I did auto tune. Then in each of the tracks I used the noise gate. If you want, this is noise gate mono. It has a stereo version, but because I was adding it on a mono track, I have to use the mono VST. So what I was doing was using it to kill some background noise. Actually, let me see if I could just isolate this and play.
I've been waiting for you not long. You've been online while you snobbing. For how long, man, go the way to play boys on your DM, but you don't know how them.
If you listen closely, you hear the sound of my AC inside. I think that was the reason why I used the noise gate. Normally, whenever I want to record, I put off everything that add noise, but then I think it was very hot then, and it was crowded here, so I had to use the AC before we suffocate. So, but then I knew I was going to remove that. It's a minor issue, so it was it.
I've been waiting for you not long. You've been online while you snobbing. For how long, man, go the way to play boys on your.
So that was just it. Okay, so I usually work with my lead vocal first. I sent the both of them. These are lead vocals. I sent both of them to the group one. That's where I add all my effects. This is my inserts. But normally I work here on my mixer where everything is just displayed correctly with my sends and everything. So that's the reason why I'm using double screen, so I'll be fast. So but I'll be using this part for the sake of this tutorial. So when you want to start mixing, the first thing you take down is your beat. You take down this is my beat. I take it down so that I will have headroom in the mix, because once you start bringing in vocals, backup vocals, the volumes, the decibels will add, the dB, they will add up. So you need that headroom. You don't want your output to be clipping as you are mixing. You understand? So I brought it down, and I have track spacer. You guys already know I love using track spacer on the beats. I place it there. Then I brought in the first plugin was my favorite compressor, the CLA2A, and it was compressing, giving me that compression. And then even before this compression, just like you can see this video I made here, whenever I'm recording a project, I have a compressor on my inputs already. Like I'm recording through a compressor before it comes into my before it's recorded into the track. You understand? So before it comes even into the track, I have a CLA 76 that is slightly compressing the sound. Just watch the video I'm going to post on the card so you understand this process. So my vocal is coming in loud enough, but not clipped, but just already processed in a way. So I'm sending it here. Then
I've been waiting for you not long. You've been online while you snobbing. For how long, man, go they wait though?
and if you watch, my compressor here is not doing much, barely on 2 dB, because it has been recorded through a compressor before. You understand? That's one advantage. It helps your song to sit all the time on your beat. You understand? So that was what I did. Then I brought in an EQ. I used the VEQ 4. That's the 4 bands. It has VEQ 3, VEQ whatever, 8, and the rest of that. So what I did, I cut off the lows around 150 hertz because it wasn't needed in the sound. Then what else did I do? That was just all I did here. I added the analog feel to it. You understand? To add an analog flavor, this thing to warm up the vocal, because after I just cut off 150, this analog signal usually adds, depending on the kind of board, analog signals usually add some low frequencies and high frequencies, some harmonics around the 60-50 hertz, and in the high frequencies. So that's why if you look at the first compressor we used, you see under the analog is off, because I knew I wanted to add analog with the EQ. They'll ask you whether you want to use the 50 hertz or 60 hertz. That's usually where that curve is added when analog signal is added. That's what those analog boards, the electricity that pass through them, that's the frequency that they create in a sound that makes it look as if it's fat and full. If you've not subscribed up to this point, that's witchcraft, because the channel is giving off enough information we get. So I brought in my EQ, my first EQ. I use a lot of EQs in my project. You guys should have seen it before. So what I did, I cut off around the 300. Let me see if I can solo that and play.
I've been waiting for you not long. Go they wait.
I didn't like that frequency. I also cut off this frequency. Most of this time, sometimes you just do some sweep and check for the frequencies that are jumping out before you cut out any frequency. You know the ones that are jumping out. You understand? So that was all I did there. Then I brought in another EQ. I don't like doing a lot of EQ in one EQ. You understand? So I also cut off. Sometimes some of these EQs I add them after I've gone further. I've added something and I'm hearing something else. I'll add an EQ above it and treat it again. Understand? So this was what I added. I was removing also. I have a very good microphone, so that's why you barely see me boost. I'm going to make also a video about microphones, are all microphones good, which microphone can you use to get the best recording. You understand? But I have a Rode NTA1. I think it's a fairly good microphone, and it saves me the stress of cutting a lot of stuff, or boosting, because all the frequencies are almost distributed correctly. That's the value you get from owning an expensive microphone. So I was cutting out this, and if you watch on my screen, you see this thing here. This is what the analog frequency EQ was adding. This one, if I should turn it off, you see here, it will disappear, I guess. Yeah, it was adding a kind of brightness. It should be adding something else here, but due to it's very low, you won't actually be seeing it. So I was cutting out this. That was very whistling and painful in my ear when I was mixing. So I took it out, and I brought in the vitamin, which I use all the time, but funny enough, I didn't use it. I left it because I added some sounds and they weren't pleasing. That's why sometimes everything you use, you don't just add them all the time. You listen. Your ear should tell you when you should use some certain stuff. You understand? So I brought in my DSR. Funny enough, I didn't do any high boosts or stuff like that. I'm even shocked. Most times you don't cram what you are doing. You just do, because I'm surprised I didn't do most boosting in this particular project. I was just following my ears and my mind, what I felt should be right. So I did some de-essing.
I've been waiting for you night long. You've been online while you snobbing. For how long, man, go the wait oh.
You understand? Then I used another EQ too and did a cut around the 6K again. That was just it. So we moved from
I've been waiting for you night long.
to this.
I've been waiting for you night long.
You also pay attention to your beat when you're mixing your song, because this particular beat is not like a fast tempo song, it's a mid tempo 105, and the elements played inside the beat are not much. Had it been was like a Naira Marley bang bang, then you have to do a lot of cut from the vocal because frequencies will start, every element will start fighting for space. Some people say I talk too much on the video, but then I have to explain a lot of stuff. You understand? So if you don't like what I'm saying, then I don't know. Then that was just it. And I brought in my send effects. I use all the time. 99% I use the H delay. Then the other 1% I use Sound Toys, Echo Boy. But then I use this all the time because it's just there. It has an EQ on it. It has a lot of interesting stuff. It has the host BPM and blah 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 stuff. Then I use my favorite reverb. I use 90% of the time. If I don't use Valhalla Vintage, I use this guy. So I use vocal plates. Most times it works very well on the vocal, and it has an EQ here where you could manipulate the sound of your reverb. You understand? So with that, it was sounding like that.
I've been waiting for you night long. You've been online while you snobbing.
Now, so that was it, and I just did. I duplicated this guy, copied everything from there to my backup vocal. You understand? And under the backup vocal, I did some automation with the panning, where you hear the stuff playing sometimes left to right. Let me just solo this guy. So you have to play around with your panning, and sometimes I add telephone effects.
Okay, I mean to you, don't know that.
You know, those things gives your sound dynamic, so everything is not just the real original vocal all the time. There's something else I also do in my vocal. I do in my mix. We call it delay throw. Like you, in some particular phrases of the words, you throw a certain delay out. You understand? So let me use for example. There is this particular part, you hear the delay of the signal repeats in a certain phrase.
Come out, girl, I know if you wait though. Make we gonna take
That wait though. Then something I think I did it here too. You see those particular places I was using the delay, like a delay. What I just do, I just create an empty track and use the inputs. I want to record this particular stuff on a delay through. This is going to my group 1. So on this delay through, I will take my input. Instead of taking input from my microphone, I will take it from the group 1, so that once I press record, it records whatever is coming out from the group 1. You understand? Let me just show you guys. I want to record this thing.
Oh, shawty, tell me hello.
So this is my delay through stereo channel. I will be taking input from my group 1. That's what I want to record. So once I click record.
Oh, shawty, tell me hello. I've been waiting for you night long. Oh, shawty, tell me hello.
So you see, I was now recording. I can record any part of my session, just like this. This happens when I'm mixing. So in the delay through, what I just have in the delay through is just a delay that is in ping pong. It's just a delay. Understand? Then I sent the delay to a reverb, a Valhalla Vintage reverb. This is like a very big hall reverb. So for this track, this big reverb, I sent it to the big reverb, and the big reverb is using this big reverb from Valhalla Vintage. So it's sounding like.
Okay, I mean to you, don't know that. Baba, me DJ.
See that big ambient. So I used 2 reverbs in this project. You understand? So that was just it. Then I came to the beat, the track spacer. After everything, then I was sending my lead vocal to the track spacer so that it will create more space for the lead vocal to breathe throughout the track. So you see, anytime the lead vocal comes in, you see the beat ducking down in frequencies where the vocal should sit properly.
Oh, shawty, tell me hello.
So you see, so that was just everything I did on the track. So any kind of video you want to see on the channel, I believe this one is too long already. Do well to let me know. And I'm also according to demand, I'm trying to drop my sample pack where you have a lot of crazy drum rolls, drum fills. Like, I'm working with a professional drummer. We are using a live drum to create this sample, so you guys will get it very soon. And so if you have a project you want me to handle, so do well to, my contacts are on the screen, and let's do those interesting stuff. You guys, see you guys.